year, everyone. I'm so grateful you're joining us live tonight for our first show of 2026, episode number 101. If you haven't met my guest yet, Gwendolynn Murphy, you will, and you'll know all about her, and look out for her in the future. I'm already seeing her on the red carpet getting her own Academy Award or Oscar or Golden Globe or whatever, because she is an untold secret still. And you're getting the jump on her. Gwendolynn Murphy is an award-winning actress, dancer, and red carpet host, starring in Blind Blood, No Ordinary Love, Hiding in Plain Sight, and an upcoming sci-fi series as a starship captain and astrophysicist. From NBA Mavericks Dancer to touring with her self-created dual character, Marilynn, Gwendolynn brings versatility and heart. Gwendolynn, it's an honor to have you here. Woohoo!
Cynthia.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gwendolynn Murphy.
Thank you.
I was trying to figure out when we met, and I know you said June 2024, but I became aware of you earlier than that because Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower were on the Ken and Glenn show, and they invited the class to come and watch one of your acting classes.
Yes.
I came in and was smitten and stayed ever since.
Yes, you have. And it's been lovely to have you in our class. Oh my gosh, it has been a while.
Isn't that crazy?
I love it.
I know I filled up 3 notebooks of Glenn Morshower notes from acting class. I don't think I started taking notes immediately so well in the beginning. And now I'm like, oh, when exactly? I know I was always aware of you because she shines in class. Her scenes are impeccable. She's different every time. She's won Glenn Morshower's coveted Actress of the Year. And she also won another one, Chameleon of the Year, because she changes who she is, who she's portraying, where she is. You would not even know that this is the same woman. It's freaking unbelievable. But we met in person in New York City, and that's when I think you said June 2024.
Yes, that's when we actually got to hug, and I got to see how tall you are.
Yes. And it was so much fun. We have a few pictures I thought we would put up before we start going. Look at this. This is Gwendolynn, New York City. Here she is, rocking the place, and she has such a big heart. She was giving this woman who was at Central Park underneath, because the acoustics were lovely. Not only was she exquisite, but Gwendolynn gave her a very nice little tip for serenading us.
She touched me. I got teared up when she was playing. It was so beautiful, and the sound was impeccable. We just managed to walk through there at the perfect time when she was playing this gorgeous song, and it just touched me. So anyway, it was a beautiful part of being in New York for my third time.
So many beautiful parts, and we had such an amazing time.
Yeah, we did. Oh, and the Russian tea room. That was a fun day.
And she's going to be a star. Look at her. She's already at Carnegie Hall. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. And boy, she's got practice in every category.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Well, I don't play the flute and piccolo anymore, but.
And here she is on stage. Why don't you tell us about this?
Okay, this is a film called Blind Blood that I was in. This is the director, Michael Marco. He won Best Director at the film festival that we were at, the New York Independent Film Festival. And they screened our film, and it was just such a rewarding experience. And you came and watched it too. So it was lovely to have you there to share it, with us.
No, and you have something else coming up. I wish I could fly down for. You're jumping ahead, but tell them about this, because if you're in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and any one of those states, you can join this.
Actually, it's a private event, so I can't really put it out there. But I was putting it out for the extra milers in my class because, it's a private event. But I can tell later once it gets picked up and taken nationwide again.
Ooh.
But I can tell you that it will be my coveted brainchild character, Marilynn.
Ooh.
Does that mean anything? I don't know. Probably not. What it means to me, what it means to some people, is that I'm half Marilyn Monroe and half Marilyn Manson.
I'm excited to see that. Here we are. Well,
Yes.
I came down to Dallas to see T.A. Taylor and meet the gang at Shakespeare in the Park.
Yes.
And there's Glenn
Aw.
Morshower and you and lots of our extra milers, Catherine.
Yes. Everybody's peeking in there. Oh my gosh. Is that Amy? That's Amy on the very right.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What fun. And here we are in front of the stage after TA's winning performance. And it's a little red, but, and there she is, styling by the castle, because, you know, she's our queen.
We were posing it out. Oh, I love that photo.
Glenn Morshower and our star.
Oh, I got the pleasure of interviewing him on the red carpet for that event. So,
Ooh, that's fun.
yeah.
That's fun. He's an amazing man, and I'm so glad that you guys are even getting closer together. And I look forward to seeing you two working in a movie in the very near future.
I look forward to that too.
As we say, and more shower on my pizza.
That's right.
Pizza, pizza, pizza. It's a little class thing. Tell us about all the wonderful things you do for the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, NBA.
I was a dancer for 3 years for the Dallas Mavericks, and it was quite an experience. We did all kinds of things in addition to performing on the court for every single game locally. Unfortunately, we didn't get to travel, but we definitely had a lot of games throughout the year. We did a lot of appearances, worked with children. One of my favorite appearances was working with some children from the Special Olympics, and that was a really rewarding day. And just being with the community and doing different things and the parades and things like that. So that was pretty cool. I loved being part of the team.
She is such an amazing dancer among all of her other talents. Unbelievable. I want to give a shout out to Robert. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Jake. And hey, you from South Africa. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey.
So, my darling, you started with a solo in elementary school, thanks to teacher Joy. What made stepping on the stage feel so natural to you right away?
You know, that's an interesting question. I've thought back about this many times, and the only thing I can attribute it to is the fact that I was a very busybody child and I needed an outlet. I needed a creative outlet. I needed a soul outlet. And that was it. And I didn't even know it. But my teacher, Joy, saw it in me, and she pretty much placed me in that role because it was elementary school. We didn't have official auditions. And she said, "You're going to play Tina, and you're going to confront the king, and you're going to sing a solo and dance around the stage all by yourself." And I'm like, "I am? Oh my gosh, okay." And I'd never done anything like that before, except maybe be the bumblebee at an Easter play at church. And that was totally crazy. So I didn't have a clue what I was going to do. So I memorized all the lines, and I was surprised at how quickly and easily that happened for me. But I was also really excited. I was excited that my teacher picked me for such a great role, and I got to confront the king and be, you know, like the little mouth and busybody. And I tell you what, I got up there and I started performing, and I was in this zone. I don't even know what happened to me. Gwendolynn disappeared and Tina appeared. And when it was over, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what was that? I need to be part of that for the rest of my life." And the response I received from the other parents and the teachers and my friends, it was not expected, but it definitely solidified for me and confirmed that I needed to work in the arts in the future. So.
Magic. Grace Cavalieri asks, in addition to dancing and acting, do you sing?
I do some singing. I did take a few years of vocal lessons, and my primary outlet for singing as a professional has been playing princesses at birthday parties and events like Ariel and Princess Belle. But other than that, I don't think I've done any other professional singing. It's primarily if the role calls for it. So, but I wouldn't say that I am a singer. I'm a singer sometimes, like per role. So I can handle my own. I'm a mezzo soprano, but there's only so much you can do with your time. And my fascination is with acting, with dance and theater. So I had to pick and choose. Otherwise, I'd do it all.
Yes. Well, you are doing it all. I'm waiting to hear the other things she does. But meanwhile, You created the dual character Marilyn, blending Marilyn Monroe and Marilyn Manson. What sparked that wild idea? Grace Cavalieri wants to know.
Oh, Grace, thank you for asking. Well, it's interesting. I was always in dance competitions, and I had this idea pop in my head one time because I saw a dual character that someone had done, and I thought, oh my gosh, one day I want to do a character like that. When the outlet provides itself, I want to, or when the opportunity provides itself, I want to do that someday because I just thought it looked so cool. And I was going to be in this theater competition. It was a dance theater type competition called the Body Art Ball here in Dallas. And I thought, I think this is the place because it's so creative that you can be pretty much anything. So we had just finished a show with a production company, CNC Productions, and it was a superhero show. And it just so happened Max Hartman, who's also a local actor, a local theater actor, who's phenomenal, adore him, and musician. He was playing the Joker, and he started the show, and he twirled his baton and walked down the runway to The Beautiful People. And every show that we did, that music would be pounding while we're backstage preparing to go on, and it just would get my blood pumping. So for some reason, when it came time to create a character, that song popped in my head, and so did Marilyn Monroe and Marilyn Manson. I honestly can't tell you how it happened, but I turned on my camcorder, I put it on a tripod, and I thought, well, I'm just going to create some choreography and see what happens. Put the two characters together, edited a piece of music, filmed it the first time I did it, and that became the piece. I don't even know how. And I toured the country for 6 years performing as Marilyn. And it has been the highlight of my career. It has been so well received that people would travel from other states to come and see it. And that blew my mind. People I didn't even know. They would the next year we would appear and they would say, "Oh, I brought my friends from Virginia to Baltimore because I wanted them to see your act as Marilyn." And so it was such a compliment. And considering the fact that it came out of my own being and my own idea to put those two together, which I guess it wasn't so far-fetched because Marilyn Manson obviously kind of adopted her name, so it wasn't like totally out of the realm of possibility that someone could come up with this idea, but it just happened for me, and I'm riding the wave. I'm getting ready to do it again in a few weeks, and I am just elated. My favorite character I've ever performed.
Grace Cavalieri wants to know, does everyone know Marilyn Manson was a rocker?
I think so. What I found fascinating about performing this character was it appealed to people across all arenas. Like I would have young people, older people, people that were into rock, that were into Marilyn Monroe and the classic beauty and the actor that she was. I would have them come up to me. I would have a psychologist come up to me and say, I really see the good and the evil and the dark and the light in your performance. And in the character. And I never dreamed that it would reach that many people on so many levels. That kind of blew my mind because for me, it was just an art form and it was getting to perform and, put something fun together, but it just kind of grew and became bigger. And I kind of became an ambassador for the Body Art Ball. And so when we toured the country, I would really connect with the crowd and really make some friends. And so each year we would revisit Kansas City, say. I would see some of the same people, and it was really neat to be reunited with them.
So. Robert has a question. Marilyn Manson is a dedicated performer?
Marilyn Manson, are you familiar with Marilyn Manson, or is that what you're asking?
Robert is, yes.
Okay, yes. He, his music videos is what was a great inspiration for me. Just so out there and so bizarre. I knew it was something that people wouldn't expect. So as I'm performing her, delicately so, poopy doop kind of, I quickly turned to him. The crowd didn't see it coming. They just don't. And he is so thrashy and so hard. And so the music is so powerful. I do use the Beautiful People song. And the room, you could just, the bass is just boom, boom, boom. And it's just everyone in the room can feel the bass and can feel the performance. And then you've got this crazy character thrashing about, and then suddenly becomes delicate again as her. So the dichotomy of the two characters is really quite awesome because they're so very different, and visually it's so very different.
Imagine touring the US for 6 years as a Marilynn. Is there an audience reaction from that still surprises you?
You know, I'm going to start back to the very first time I performed it. I had 6-inch platform shoes on. I was nervous as all get out, and it happened naturally. But I'd say about the third time I turned, I could hear the audience laughing. And I thought, oh my gosh, where are they laughing? Well, they were laughing because they really enjoyed it, and they were so surprised. But that threw me off. Like I didn't expect them to laugh. But I loved it. Any reaction. And so it got to the point where every show I would do, my ears were perked up to see, how are they going to respond to this? How are they going to respond to that? And it was really quite cool. And I probably got my first standing ovation performing that number, and it was really cool. So I could probably perform that until I die and be okay with that.
I can't wait to see it, because
Oh, yay.
Never forget your first standing ovation. It's just,
oh, thank
whoa.
you.
So for actors and dancers turning to actors, how did the 3 seasons as an NBA Dallas Mavericks dancer shape you for your on-camera presence, which is exquisite?
I would say most of that was live performance on a court with like 20,000 people in the arena. So I wouldn't say it was helpful in that regard, but we did do a lot of on-camera appearances and interviews. And before that, I did a lot of beauty pageants that I didn't mention in my bio. Miss Texas pageant, that kind of thing. So I really gained a lot of experience with interviewing in that arena and being on camera. But really, my roots with acting goes back to the stage. And then when I moved to Dallas, I realized I'm very stage. I need some film training. I need some TV training. I need some on-camera training so that I can bring it down a notch. So that was a big process for me, because I was very big, very animated from being a dancer and a pageant girl and on stage, that I had to find a way to reel it back in and to really, give it to the audience through the eyes and not necessarily through the entire body, or, through animation, but, through the eyes, what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your soul. Let them see it and let them feel it that way.
Yeah. For gritty roles like the homeless mom in Hiding in Plain Sight, how did interviewing real women change your performance in that one?
That was, wow. It's still one of the most touching experiences I've had as an actor, to be honest with you. I knew, in order to do justice to homeless people and homeless women around the world and in our country in particular, I needed to talk to them. I needed to know their stories. I needed to know their journey and how they got to where they were. And so there's a local facility that provides for homeless people and helps them get back on their feet and educates them. And it's called Dallas Life. And so I reached out to Dallas Life and I said, this is what I'm doing. I'm working on this film. And I was in a lead roles, and I knew I had a lot of on camera time, and I wanted to make sure that the audiences could connect with the character and understand their journey, because I think sometimes people see someone on the street and they think, oh, that bum, that person needs to get a job. That person's a slacker or whatever. And the premise of our story was that my husband had lost his job, and he had gone to SMU. He had a degree. He had a fabulous career. He lost his job, and our family was living in the car. Mm-hmm. So I wanted the audiences to know that it's not just people who don't apply themselves and people who are on drugs and people who are bums, so to speak. It's everyday people, and it's becoming more common. And so in order to do that justice, I went to Dallas Life. I interviewed with 5 different women from all walks of life that found themselves there. And I I went in, I didn't go in as actress Gwendolyn. I didn't want to make them feel any sort of uneasiness about what I was doing, or make them feel like they were being used in any sort of way. I wanted them to understand that I want to share your story so that other people understand, so other people can help. And it was really touching. And I heard some things that it was so hard to hear, and you wouldn't want anyone that ever to have to live through something like that. But I was so grateful to God that they were at Dallas Life, and that they were, getting help, and they were getting an education, so that I knew one day they were going to find a way to get out of there, and they were going to move forward, and they would probably be able to help other people, which that organization is well known for. So it was very touching to interview with these women, and I really did everything I could to do their story justice.
Yeah, talk about going the extra mile and researching your lady that you were playing and getting all those kind of background levels.
Yeah. It's called Hiding in Plain Sight. I believe it's still available on Daystar, but you can check IMDb and see where it's screening or where you can find it. But it's still out there. It's still one of my favorite movies I've ever worked on. The director is M. Legend Brown, a local filmmaker, and he afforded me that opportunity, and I'm still very grateful for that.
And Eric is a pastor who says, "Good evening, ladies. An ordained pastor comes in of Marilyn Manson. God's blessings to all."
Oh, thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. I'm playing a no-nonsense judge in No Ordinary Life. What's the secret to commanding the screen?
It is called No Ordinary Love. And I only say that because the title is really important, because it's about domestic abuse. And my character isn't the most caring individual, but being that I have another job as a court reporter and working in the legal field, it was something that I was very excited to play the judge. But it's another one of those really touchy movies that you can find out there on Amazon Prime. And it's about domestic abuse. And unfortunately, this judge was not fully grasping the situation, I don't think. But I did my job well, and nobody liked my character. So.
And did you hear that? Did you catch that? She's also a court reporter. Think about that. About that brain that's always going and is so precise. She does so many wonderful things for us. For sci-fi fans, tease us about captivating a starship and playing an astrophysicist in your new series.
Okay, I'm working on 2 different series. One of them's called Voyager Love. I play the captain of Starship. And that's really cool. It's all shot on green screen. So all of the actors are working together on green screen. And the worlds come together as the director editor is putting them together. So it's really fascinating to see it happen that way. So you've got minimal things on set. You've got your guns, you've got your whatever, but you don't have a ship. You don't have aliens. You don't have any of those things. You just have yourself, the other actors, and maybe a few minor props. So it's pretty much up to you to have an eye line and be able to execute that and make it look real. My second project that I'm working on is a branch. It's kind of like a Star Trek series that the director's put together. He's a filmmaker from Austin named Alan Ray. He is putting together a series of projects, but it's Zero World. So that's the overhead name of the project. And there's many different TV series and 4 different features he's written with that same world. And I play a few different characters in the series, or in the different projects, but in the one I currently am working on and just finished filming, I play an astrophysicist. And the funny thing about this one, we all worked on green screen, but we all worked on green screen one at a time. So the director editor had to really make sure that each one of us knew where our eye line was at, so it looked like we were speaking to the next person that was shooting on another day. And then he puts us all in the same scene together, and we look like we're in the same scene together. Totally fascinating. I've never seen anyone do it before. But I think part of his motivation was he started filming the project, and then we went into lockdown during the pandemic, and he wanted to keep working. So he would bring one actor in at a time and just film,
Really?
one at a time. Yeah, so it came together and it looked really cool. So
Another thing she does is interview people on the red carpet. So hosting festivals like South by Southwest, SXSW, and Dallas International. What's the funniest celebrity moment you've had?
ooh, gosh, funniest. I've had some really cool ones, but I think my favorite of all time, I was interviewing John Landis. And if you're not familiar with John Landis, he directed Blues Brothers, Animal House, oh gosh, a slew of them. And he also directed Thriller. So it
Ooh.
just so happened he was in Dallas because he was getting the Dallas Star Award and he was walking the honors carpet. And so I got to interview him and I asked him several questions about all of his different projects. But one in particular I wanted to know about was his experience working with Michael Jackson on the Thriller video. And also because it was the first music video that was a short film. And I wanted to know, how did this come about? And he says, it's interesting you asked me that. Nobody's ever asked me that before, which I found astounding. He said, Michael Jackson called me at 4 o'clock in the morning and he got this little high pitched voice and he goes, John, I want to make a music video that's like a short film. And he shared that with me, and that was really, really cool. And I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Coming from a dance background, we all are a huge Michael Jackson fan. So I was truly honored to interview him. But then the bonus surprise was after he walked inside to go catch his seat, his son appeared as a surprise for him in the red Michael Jackson Thriller jacket that his mother designed. Yeah. I was like, what? That's it. And I, to this day, wish I would have at least reached out and touched it. Just to have like one finger on it. But anyway, that was really cool. Got to interview Max. His son is named Max. And that was really cool. So John would be by far my favorite. Another really cool interview I had was Judge Reinhold. And I made him laugh. So that was really fun. Faye Dunaway, Robert Benton are some of the other big stars that I've interviewed. Oh gosh, Erica Badu. There's a few different ones, but they all have their own way of being, and it's just an honor to be in their presence and ask them about their work. And I take it very seriously, honestly. I don't care if you're a brand new filmmaker and it's your first red carpet or you're John Landis. I do my homework. I learn all about you. I learn about all of your work, everyone in the project, because I want to put your best foot forward in our interview and help you shine and help you feel comfortable. Because if I backtrack just a little bit, I can tell you how I got involved with being a red carpet interviewer.
Please do.
Okay. And this is really why I had such a compassion for others being a first timer on the red carpet. I was in a project with M. Legend Brown called Kissed by the Devil. And I walked to the red carpet for the first time at the Dallas International Film Festival. And I walked down and was interviewed by each outlet for the first time. And I was so nervous. I had no idea what they were going to ask me. I just didn't know, am I doing this right? And lo and behold, when I saw the footage later, I was relieved that it all looked okay and I sounded okay. But it was my first experience and I was very nervous. Well, it just so happens 2 years later, one of those guys, one of the outlet press guys was looking for, Real News is the name of the outlet. He was looking for a host. And I had been, doing red carpet or doing on ice interviews at hockey games for the Allen American hockey team. I'm tripping over my words. Slow down. I was doing interviews on the ice with hockey players and live events and that kind of thing. And I found out that he needed a host. And I said, well, gosh, this is an opportunity to work with my community in Dallas, work with my friends when they have films on the carpet, interview other filmmakers and make new friends and learn more about film festivals and what they're all about. And so that's kind of how it came about. And I took it very seriously because I just want others to feel at ease and be able to, your film that you make, it's your baby, and you bring it to the red carpet, you bring it to the screening, you bring it to the festival, you bring it to the world, and you hope it's well received. And that moment on the carpet is your moment to tell everyone about it and hope that they will come forward and watch it someday, if not at that festival, but later on when it gets distribution or when it's at another festival. And so you want to help them share with the audience what they need to, so that the audience is intrigued and wants to go watch their film. So
That's so beautiful. Don't you feel like you want to walk on the red carpet with Gwendolynn Murphy? For sure.
oh yes, come on.
Yes, yes, yes. And thank you, Eric B. Flanor, for sharing this out. Please share this out. This is a magnificent woman, and we need to get the word out because she wears so many hats. Yes, Eric, she does. And she can do anything. Do you know, in acting class, she even edits my scenes for me. If you go on IMBD, you can see a couple of them that she did.
Yes. I love editing. It's so much fun.
She puts her heart and soul in it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Editing was something that just I kind of fell into. I edit obviously as a court reporter, but it's quite different type of editing. It's not near as exciting, but it's very precise. Very, verbatim testimony can be very precise, so it can be very tedious work. So when I found myself editing videos, like for family, or my first one really was for an audition, and then I started doing family videos, and then we went into lockdown. So we couldn't go to the acting studio anymore. So Glenn took us online on Zoom. And when we did, we realized, oh, we can record our classes every single week and watch our work back. Then it became, oh my gosh, we can take that footage and edit it together and make a scene. One person here, one person there, in totally different states, totally different cities. We look like we're speaking to each other, edit it together, and it looks like we're all together. And I became very fascinated with that. So I just started doing it for fun, just to go, oh, here's our scene, here it is put together. And then it was like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can add music. Oh, I can do this. I can do that. And then I'm obsessed with it now. I love to edit. If there's any little glitches, any little things, I find ways to work around it. I did study music in middle school and high school. I played the flute and piccolo. So I feel like when it comes to editing, the timing of it, and or even putting music underneath it, all that kind of stuff, I feel like my music training really helped with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just enjoy it so much. It's something I do as kind of a side hustle job, and I do it for fun. So I think because of that, it doesn't really weigh on me ever. I don't ever feel like, oh, I've got this deadline, I have to finish this. It's just pure fun, and I love it. And I love helping you with your audition or with your class scenes, Cynthia. It's been really a joy. And anybody else who wants to bring me their scenes, it's been really a lot of fun.
And she'll even do it from Spartan, Greece. Thank you for joining us.
Ooh, cool.
And she's doing a service, because when you go back and you watch the scene put together, you really can see yourself and you can go, oh, and you can catch things. And your coach, ours is Glenn Morshower, will go and make the scene better. And then you can see how to be more human, so that you can project what those deep feelings are and make someone else hear the story, learn the story, feel the story, learn something from the story, be part of the story.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's magic.
It is. It really is. And it also helped me realize what an editor's actor means. I grew tremendously in that regard. It was something that as I became more of an editor, I realized that I wish earlier in my acting career I'd known as an on-camera actor, because if you don't know what that means and you are an actor, look into it. Become an editor's actor. It will change your career. It will change your life, because there is a technique to it. It's not just show up and know your lines. There is a technique to it, and it makes the editor's job easier if you do these little things, and they will love you for it. And you will probably get more jobs that way. So I know that there's been many times where I'm like, oh my gosh, if this actor only knew that every time they finish a line, they blink, blink, blink and look down, or whatever it is. There's these little things that as you're editing, you learn that I wouldn't have learned any other way as an actor, because I wouldn't have actually seen it. And so that's the beauty of having our classes filmed every week too. We can go back and look at our work, and we can know where we need to grow. So.
And some people even get it sent out for an audition piece and have gotten work from them. So it's really, really amazing. Eric played the trumpet. Yep, everything you do helps you in every part of life, but he didn't know he was going to fall in love with jazz. Uh-huh.
I love jazz. It's one of my favorite forms of music. Oh, it's beautiful.
I love Eva Cassidy, who I got to see in Blues Alley in Washington, D.C. before she died. Do you know her?
I don't, but I need to look into that.
She's one of my favorites of all time. The voice is breathtaking. But for other women, she juggled a lot of different careers too. But women juggling multiple careers, like court reporting and acting, how do you keep balance?
Well, it's funny. When I was in high school, I was trying to decide which direction to go. And my heart yearned only to act, but I also understood the gravity of being an actor and the reality of it. And I thought, I don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket just yet. I want to also get an education that can further me as a person and to be more well-rounded. So at that point, I won some scholarships and I went to college to become a court reporter, and moved forward with that career, knowing that I could work freelance out of my home office and also be an actor and dancer as well. But when I first started, I was dancing for the Mavericks, so my acting had to kind of sit on the sideline because, oh my gosh, that was a lot. But I did it because I loved it so much that I found a way to make it work. And so initially what I would do is I would go to law firms, take depositions, go to workers' compensation hearings, take hearings, and then you go to your home office and you produce it. And so then it got to the point where, 3 years in, I had some of my clients that would be like, oh, which days do you have games? And they would schedule their depositions on different days so that I could be at their depositions. So I thought that was really kind of cool, that they worked with me to allow me to, be a professional dancer as well. And that was really quite cool. But it was a lot, I must say. But I've always done that. I've always juggled 3 or 4 careers. And I guess that's just who I am. But eventually, when that TV series books, and I'm so busy working on that all the time, well, then I guess I won't be able to be a court reporter anymore. That's
right.
And that's the goal. Yeah.
Shoot that arrow straight to that target.
That's the goal.
It's amazing how talented you are. And people see quality in all of these different aspects, they gravitate towards it and they want you on their team. That's why they change their schedule to meet your schedule. So that is a huge compliment to you, my darling.
Yeah, that was
in unusual roles. What's the character that felt you most like you were stretching your chameleon wings?
Well, interestingly enough, in class, I'm able to really stretch those wings.
You are.
And I am so grateful for that, because when it comes to castings, I've found that it's very repetitive in the types of roles that are offered to you. So this takes me back to the homeless role, because that has by far been the role that I stretched the most, because everyone in this market saw me as a professional dancer, a glamour girl, this type of thing. And they definitely didn't see me as a person who could play a homeless woman. So I had to prove myself. And the director reached out and he said, I have you in mind for this character, but I really need you to audition and I really need to see it. And it just so happened I didn't have someone to help me with my audition at that point in time. So I was like, oh my gosh, he needs it tomorrow. What am I going to do? And I had my Mac and I was like, I'll just film it on my Mac. I'll edit it and I'll send it to him. And that was literally my first audition. I shot myself, edited myself, and sent in. And I didn't have the lighting perfect because I didn't know how to do the lighting. Well, come to find out, the director loved it because it looked raw. It looked raw, like he was going to shoot the film raw. So it didn't look so polished and perfect. He could see me just fine, but it gave that just a little bit of edge to it. It made it look more raw, and he really loved it. And so that helped me book the role. But I was just so grateful that he even had the idea to have me audition in the first place, because I think that's the problem that we run into as actresses is not everybody can see you as more than a mom or a sister or a girlfriend or whatever. And you literally have to show them what you can do before they will cast you as something. So I was grateful that he saw it in me before he even saw my audition. And that role was role of a lifetime, and I'm so grateful for it.
A beautiful story. And everyone can use those lessons in whatever they're doing in their lives, you know.
Yeah.
Go the extra mile. These little whispers. These are excellent tips, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
But for other aspiring actors, what's the one class or mentor tip that unlocked that versatility in you?
You know, I think it was starting in theater. So if you really want to be an actor and you're a child and you happen to be watching this, go into stage, go into theater at your school first. And then if you're beyond that, find an outlet to work in some local community theater. That was what sparked for me the ability to be anything and do anything. Because once I transitioned over to more of film and TV, that's when I realized that it was a little more defined as to what they were looking at you as. And I've always kind of, I don't know if I'd say fought the system, but I've always wanted more than that. I didn't want to be put in a niche. I wanted to be, what do you need? What character do you need? I'm it. Let's go. Okay. So that's the way I look at it. I don't have any restraints. I don't have any barriers. I don't. And Cynthia's seen me in class. I'm probably a little bit crazy, but I think that helps everybody that's an actor. But I love doing things that are very different all the time. I don't like those same old type opportunities. So I've always kind of worked against the system when it comes to that.
For indie film lovers, how does green screen sci-fi compare to raw dramas like Blind Blood?
Oh, it's very different. It's a very different genre. Blind Blood is a gritty thriller. And Blind Blood, actually, you can catch on Amazon Prime, Tubi, oh gosh, where else? Spectrum on demand. And in Australia, it's actually gone worldwide. And Blind Blood is a gritty thriller that stars Billy Blair. I play a nosy neighbor who happens upon a really odd situation. So that one is very, very different. You're there live, you're working with the other actors, you're working with the cinematographer, you know, everything is right there. It's tactile, you can feel it, you can see it, you can smell it, it's there. When you're working on green screen, it's you and a flat green screen wall and maybe another actor and maybe not. And you're looking at an X on the frame and you're acting to the X with everything you've got, believably so, or it looks fake. So it's very different, but I have to say I loved working on Blind Blood. I loved working on that gritty thriller. We're hoping to move forward with a sequel if we're lucky. But I have a great fascination for sci-fi. So I do want to see myself working in that more in the future. And I'm still working on these 2 series that will be moving forward. But sci-fi is so much fun. You can be that's it. I think that's why I like sci-fi so much, is because you can be different types of characters. You know, you look at Star Trek and all the wild characters that they have on there. Sci-fi kind of opens the door for that.
Yeah. Your shout out to Dallas Fort Worth features mentions exploring genres. What's a dream role you haven't tackled yet?
Ooh, gosh. I really want, okay. Well, my dream role is to play like a detective on a TV series.
You'd be great
I
at that.
love playing military, detective, cop, those type roles, very much so. But I also like the really gritty stuff, like playing someone who is psychologically not quite all there, but maybe they don't really know it yet. So that could be really quite fun. But I know for me, it's just the most fascinating roles for me are something that are different, out of the norm. I gravitate towards those. I yearn for those. But and practicality, TV series, I'm probably not going to book something like that. So I would really love to book a TV series as a police officer, detective, someone in that genre, or maybe even the legal field as an attorney, district attorney, judge, what have you, in a recurring role. But, I'm pretty much open for a lot of ideas. I just don't like the stereotypical female roles. So if it's not, I love to gender bend. I love it all. So let's be creative. Let's be creative, filmmakers. Come on, let's do it. Like, think of women for other types of roles besides the traditional norm that you've always seen. Write some really fun roles for us. We want it. We can do it, and we yearn for it. So I'm speaking to you.
Excellent. Gwendolynn Murphy is represented by the Kim Dawson Agency. What's the audition story that landed your breakthrough?
Well, I'm still working on that breakthrough, Cynthia.
Well, we're here to help you get there. So share this out, everyone, because she is ready. She is so ready. Look at all she can do.
I am primed and ready to go. Yes, that's right. I'm trained, I'm ready, I'm experienced, and
you have a heart of gold.
Heart of gold. Oh, thank you, Cynthia. I love you for that.
She really does care. And she's disciplined. She shows up on time. She does what she says she's going to do. She always goes the extra mile. She's freaking amazing.
Thank you. And that's one thing I do. I take great pride in the work. And, there's some people, maybe they work for the check, and the check is always nice. But for me, it's about the work. The passion has always been there for the work since that very first play I was in, where I was singing and dancing on that stage. It sparked something in me, and it's always been about the work. So when I become Marilynn, I spend all day in costuming, makeup, becoming Marilynn, to perform on stage for just mere minutes. And I give it my heart and soul because I'm an actor. That's what I do. It's my being, and that's why I feel like I was placed here. And honestly, I want to extend this a little bit further. I do it for the passion for the arts, but I also have a big picture in mind. And that is, if I'm ever in a position with my artistry and with the level that I reach, I want to use that to help others in other sorts of ways, if at all possible, because I just know that, like, when you have a platform like that, you need to use it for good and not for bad. And I really have that in my soul, and I always have since like day one. Like, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to do it for the artistry. I want to do it because I love it. I want to do it because it's so much fun. I love being on a set, connecting with people, working 2 or 3 months on a project. You feel like you become a family. And it's always kind of sad that last day when you have to leave, and you can only hope that you get to work with some of these people again. But ultimately, in the big scheme of things, if I can take that and connect it with helping others like I did with the homeless role, then that for me is a great joy. And I would feel like I actually accomplished something in my life, that I would be leaving a legacy that I could be truly proud of.
Amen, sister. Amen. It shall be yours, and it is done.
Thank you.
Write it down.
Okay.
Narrow your focus. We've got a lovely compliment here from Josh Mandragor. Thank you so much for joining us. He is a star in his own right. Recently, Grace asked about singing. Here's your singer. Here's your guitar player. Here's your performer. Here's your actor.
Yes.
Josh, amazing. And he says Gwendolynn is a bit of a chameleon. Proud of both of you. And yes, she is multi-talented. You name it, she'll probably figure out how to do it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Josh. And Josh, is another up and coming, let me tell you right now. Keep an eye out for Josh because he can sing, he plays the guitar, as she just mentioned, and he is also a chameleon actor. Phenomenal. So, and I want to work with Josh someday. I think that'll be great.
He's going to be doing an appearance on the Cynthia Manion Show. Hey, Josh, catch me up after this.
Yay.
Let's see. I don't know. We're running out of time, and I have so many more questions. How
Oh,
about for women over 40 thriving in acting? What's your advice for owning every role?
I think you just go for it, you know? Just get that material and figure out who that person is in your heart and in your soul. Figure out who that person is, and then go with it 100%. But there's a lot of layers to it. You know, there's a lot of digging that you want to do. You don't want that character to be like any other character you've done or someone else has done. You want that character to be unique in its own right. You want people to be able to connect with that character and empathize with them, even if they're a murderer, even if there's someone that you don't agree with. You want to find a way to relate to that character, to love that character, to be that character, and for your audiences to connect with that character as well. So for me, the door is wide open for as far as like my creativity and what I will be open to accept. I mean, there's a few things that are off the table for me as far as like, you know, as a female, things that have been presented to me that I choose not to do. But I'm very open-minded when it comes to artistry, and I love to give it my all. And I just don't see any limits, and I don't think we should. I think, you know, you're speaking of people over 40, and even women in particular. I don't think that we should be confined by age, and that's a big thing for me. I think that this is a country that for some reason focuses a lot on that. And I hear people go, oh my gosh, I have to do this by the time I'm 30, or I'm too old and I have to quit. And I'm like, okay, where did this mindset come from? Because it's not adapted, it's not adopted in other countries as much. It's very much prominent here. And I find it kind of disheartening, really, because we're all going to get older. We're all going to want to continue to be creatives past the age of 30. I mean, come on, you know, no matter if you're a harp player, you know, a basketball player, whatever, which I guess I shouldn't say basketball player because there are limits physically. Okay. But if you're an artist, there are no limits. There aren't. So I just say, don't be confined by those strongholds and those constraints that society seems to place on people. Just do it. Just do it.
And Josh says, amen, Glenn. I feel the same way. Absolutely. Because I never intend to retire. I'm always going to be working.
And you know, you just called me Glenn, which I find fascinating. Do you know Glenn used to get called Gwendolynn? Okay. I thought that was really funny. But anybody, if you don't know who we're talking about, our film coach, Glenn Morshower, acting coach, extraordinaire. I love him so much. We love him so much. He is not only an acting coach, but okay. He structures his course as an acting class disguised, no, a wellness course disguised as an acting class. And that is the dang truth, because we all show up every week. We spend the entire day or the entire evening with him, and we learn to be better people in addition to be better actors, in addition to being better actors. And I think there's a lot to be said for that, because this is a very tough profession to be in. And if you can't be grounded in who you are and in your community, it's really hard to stay strong and to stay sane in this business, or sober for that matter. So you really want to have a good support group around you, a good community, a good coach who can guide you in the right direction and train you to properly. And we found him. We have found gold with Glenn Morshower, and I am just so grateful to God I walked into his studio that day.
And a good heart and a good person who really, really, really cares about you and our world, making it a better place for each and every one of us. It is amazing. Reach out to Gwendolynn or I, and we will get you in for a free class so you can come and witness it. It's amazing. Hi, Alex. It's wonderful you to be here. And Robert Brooker said General Morshower, and that is, and Josh says 100%. Yes, yes, yes. Hosting runway like House of Design Industries Foundation of Fighting AIDS.
Yes.
BIFFA, Alter Ego. How was blending performance and cause. That must have been right up your alley. That's amazing.
Okay, I'm glad you asked me about that because that was also one of the highlights of my career. It just so happens that the founders of DIFA, which was created to help 30 something years ago, they had friends in New York that were dying from AIDS, and the three of them bonded together and decided that they were going to create this charity organization to raise money for AIDS HIV research. And they've raised millions over the years. Each year they raise like 1.5 million doing this. Well, it just so happens they came to the Body Art Ball at the Dallas show, the last show that we did, and I met them backstage, and they were very cool and everything. But lo and behold, several years later, they contacted me and they said, our theme this year is called Alter Ego, and we would really love to feature Marilynn with 8 backup dancers who are also half and half characters. And I'm like, oh my gosh, with a 108-foot runway. And I'm like, you're speaking my language right now. So that was really cool. I can't even begin to tell you. And so what we did is we brought the character to life again, revamped it with 2 different songs, 2 new songs, and with the dancers performing in tuxedos and then like crazy on the other side. And it came together beautifully. I couldn't have asked for anything better. They have these giant LED screens on the back of the wall. And I mean, it was just, they were flashing them with like diamonds and then totally crazy colors for Manson. And it was so cool. And so it's an organization that raises money to help with that. And every year they bring artists in, and they have an auction, and it's a really neat organization to be a part of and to perform for. And I've worked with them many times now, and I've loved every second of it.
And you mentioned I'm touring with the Body Art Ball. What's the wildest city crowd reaction you had? Hey, Kathy, we love you too. Thanks for joining us, Kathy Kelly.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. Let's see. Oh, Denver was always a really wild crowd. Austin, Texas was always crazy wild. Vegas and Baltimore. Woo, yeah, lots of fun. Oh, and then Columbus, Ohio was really wild because we performed in this giant Gothic type church. That was wild. But yeah, gosh. And then Kansas City. That was one of my other favorite cities. Lots of great people. Everybody just has a lot of fun at the show because it's such a creative show. Everyone watches the show, and we have a great time. And then after the show, we're all professional dancers. We go out, the DJ pops it, and we're all dancing with the crowd. And then we're just having a great time. So yeah, that's some of my favorites.
See it. It's fabulous, 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 fabulous. Your journey mirrors many. What's the one yes that changed everything?
I think the strongest yes so far is going back to either Marilynn or the homeless role. But I would say Marilynn because it led to a US tour. I got to go to Vancouver, Canada and perform. And now the client has come back around and I will be performing again. So it seems as though it would have to be that moment in time.
And it's fantastic.
It's provided.
I'm excited for you and the possibilities that are knocking at your door for 2026 and beyond.
Yes.
Gwendolynn, what's next for your roles, projects?
Okay.
And then we'll let our audience know how they can follow you and watch your work.
I am working on the Zero World project again, where we did this green screen sci-fi stuff, and I am going to be the woman in white for my next role. So she's a little bit of badass, which I love to play badass roles. Having a dance background, I've done a lot of stunt work as well. It kind of is a natural transition going from, professional dancing to acting. And they would say, oh, well, we need this stunt. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. We need this fight scene. Let's do it. And I enjoy it so much. So yeah, bringing it on.
Did we put all our pictures up, Eric? Do we have any pictures left in there that we didn't show? Meanwhile, can you put up the places where people can reach out to Gwendolynn? Here is her Instagram at Gwendolynn21. And is that the same for your
Instagram and YouTube, I think. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
so check that out there. And here is her IMDb, me, Gwendolynn Murphy. You can check her out there. Explain to people what IMBD is who may not know IMDb.
It's the Internet Movie Database, and it basically lists all of the projects that you've ever worked on that were actually put on the site, that were qualified to be on the site. I guess you could probably work on projects that weren't on there, but those are the ones that have actually been listed and approved. And it lists out everything you've ever done. So if you go to someone's page, you can see all of their projects, the roles they played. You can see clips and photos from their projects. And then off to the right, it'll say where you can watch those projects at. So it's a really quite neat tool, and it's gone back to the beginning of time. So you can go back to see Marilyn Monroe, for instance, and see all of her film projects listed there. So they're all on there.
Listed. Yes, they're still listed, and they still have their numbers. So in the IMDb world, you want to have the smallest number.
That's correct.
And they have all the dead people still in there too, so you can't catch them.
Yes, they do. So the highest ranking that you can get is actually a low number. It seems opposite, but it's because you're higher in the ranks. So yeah, the highest I ever got was like 10,500, which I found fascinating because I still to this day don't know how that happened, but that was quite cool. And I'm not even anywhere close to that now, but it's something that changes by day. Well, actually it changes weekly. Your ranking, depending on how many people have looked at your page, how many people have searched you, that kind of thing, the projects that you've worked on, when the releases are. There's a lot of different factors that go into play with your IMDb ranking. So but that's our main list. If you want to see what someone's done in the film TV world, that's where you go for the resume.
And this is available on YouTube and all social platforms, so you can keep sharing it out. Let the world know about Gwendolynn Murphy, that she is ready. Thank you so much for joining us. You have been a fabulous guest, Miss Gwendolynn Murphy, and I can't wait for you to get your star on the boulevard. And keep an eye on her. You can catch her. Go see what movies she's been in. Go watch them. See what she's doing, because she is a woman to follow, to know, and to keep in your heart. Thank you all for being here. Happy New Year. I'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Cynthia Manion Show. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.
Happy New Year.